Everyone, today we are going to solve day 13 challenge, which is to check if the list is sorted or not. So let's get started. So in the list it should be in increasing order, then it is sorted. So we have to return the true, or it is in equal. If it is not in a sorted or in ascending order, then it should be will return the false, right? It is given some examples by ChatGPT how's they going, and giving some hints to find that sorting or not. So let's try to do that. Mainly we use the built-in functions, right? So I'm just trying to solve by using the built-in function. Okay, here I'm created a data team file. So let's try to do that, which is sorted function, like built-in function, and returning all. Okay, I'm directly checking array is equal to sorted array or not. Just it is returns true or not, right? So I'm just returning the that true or not, right? Here I'm running the file. Here it is in ascending order, so it should return in a true. So it is returning true. Or and another function is like by using sort, another sort function or a built-in function. So for that I have to create a temporary variable, right? So there is no direct approach to like this, so I am creating a temporary variable by just copying this like this. Okay, and I have to return, and what I have to return is temporary dot sort, right? Is temporary is a sorted, I mean like it's comparing the marginal to temporary variable, right? So array is equal to temporary or not. So here I have to should return the true, and try to replace this also if we want. Okay, yeah, it is true. Let's say I'm creating another print function for this, so we can get an idea of this also. So I'm just removing, so we can get both true and false, right? So next way is by using manual approach, right? By using loop. Normally in the meantime I have tried to use like for example I have did like temporary is equal to array, or like yeah, array, but it is copies. But when I'm trying to sort that, and in comparing answer always getting the false, because it returns the none value, right? So I think that mostly I'm confusing this much part. So don't forget when you sorting, like when you when you copying, for example when you have to copy, then you have to use this semicolon in that list, main list, right? Okay, that the main point to have to keep in mind. Okay, next by using the loop through list, the first element, okay, we have to keep that checking the first element with the second last element, and comparing each with next one. If any one is greater than the next, then it should be not listed. And if an issue, then if we get an issue, then it is not sorted, right? So firstly we have to compare the each one of the element. For example, I am taking let's say I in what we have in range, we want in range, right? So let's taking n is equal to length of array. So normally n should be in the range, right? So I have to check if array of first element is a greater than or less than, right? Or less than array of I plus 1. If it is that, then I have to return. What I have to return means you have checking 1 is less than 2. Then I have to return true, or else I have to return false, right? Here main point I have to think that here list will be, length of the list will be 5. Here length of the list will be 4. So range function will skips that. If it is a 5, then it will take 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. But here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But here I am using an extended function, means I am like a checking another. For example, if the range function 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 in the 4 index will comes, then it will check the another function, right? I mean, it is checks the index 6th function, like 5 plus 4 plus 1 will be like a 5, right? uh, I mean, are you confusing or not? I mean, I'm saying that like it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It is, I'm saying like index functions. So if here I am in a fourth index, then it is checking 4 plus 1, it is 5 index, but there is not. So I have to reduce this one. So then it will comes here and check with that, and in another last way it already takes -1, right, in range function. So it doesn't check another one, right? So I'm running this. Yes, it is true, it is false, right? It is correct. Let's try to check the approach is correct or not. Takes the input and use the for loop. Okay, I have used it, and compares the current and next element. If the if statement to check if any element breaks the net, then yes, then I have to return false, then if not, true. Let's try to check here. Okay, here I have used this. I think it is also gives. Okay, what was the problem? Why same type of the array? It is also taking the same array and checking with that, and length of the -1, and okay, it is returning here false, right? Oh, I have not seen that. So I'm returning here that means directly checking 1 is less than 2. Yes, then I have to return 2. And again 2 is less than 3. Yes, then I have to return 2. Then 3 is less than 4. Yes, 4 is less than 5. It is all checking like that. So the loop goes from the index 0 to length n minus 2, means like checking that, and compares list of 1 with the list of 1 plus 1, right? So if the current element is greater than not sorted, means I'm doing this loop approach in a deep way because it is the main approach, right? And when any interviewer asks, they may expect that uh, we have to solve from the main approach, or like we have to solve from the basic approach, brute force approach, they may think. And if they ask to optimize that, we have to use another approaches, and we have to think like, for example, in a sorted way, on a sorted function, right? So loop is very important. Try to do the first loop much. Okay, so if the current is like, okay, next edge cases must will be like a empty, single element, duplicate elements, and descending order, and another data types. So in other data types it will cause and type error, so we have to handle them separately. Like if it is a not string, if it is an in string, then I think that may to solve that. And if it is a single element, then we have to directly give this a base condition, or we can say edge case. So it should be also written like that if we want to handle separately. Okay, so yes, no element to compare, then it should directly gives that. Okay, then no comparison needed, trues, and all means equal, then no element breaks, then it returns true directly. And fails first check, so it returns false, and here errors will be present. So it is big of n time complexity because we check each element once, right? And no extra storage will be taken here. See, anything we have not taken. Let's try to go through the all approaches, how's the going on. Here first approach given simple loop, okay, and checks with that. and explaining that how each comparison with the element with its neighbor, and if element is greater than the next, then it is list is not sorted, right? If any element is greater than the next, means it is greater than the next, right? So it is not sorted. So edge cases will be mostly will be like that: empty list, duplicate list, and single element. How that's going to be happen? So he here directly handles that. Okay, in Pythonic sorted way, we use that same as like to checking with that element or like a elements array, and works fine for the empty and this. And if it is contain different types, for example this, then we'll raise. In any approaches it will be raised, so we have to maintain the edge case condition that if it is int, then we have to flow this mean like we have to define here directly, right? First edge case condition. Here also big of n log n, because that sorted internally uses time sort. So don't I mean confused with that, I think leave that. Next, using all generator function. So I have created in all this. So all will returns means all function is like a built-in function, takes a single element and such like this. So it returns true if all the within the iterable are truthy, or if it is like, for example I will shown here that how it's going. Let's see, here we have the elements so that it is true. Here we have the zeroth element, so it is false. All checks the zeros, like see here. Falsy values will be like empty strings, empty list, empty tuples, and empty sets, and zero, none, false. These are like all function for the falsy values, right? So here also empty string, so it should return false. It is an empty iterable. It is not says anything that if it is an empty iterable it should return false. So it is only saying that if it is 0 it is empty. So here it returns the true. Okay, if it is an empty iterable, not in an empty like for this, it is like okay. It is also true, and it is also true, and it should also not to be true, because if the key is 0, it means like a first element key is 0, right? So that's the all function. So here the main logic is to take the truth elements, means all returns true only if all the comparisons are true. Okay, means checking with the first element with the second element, if one is less than 2, yes, it's checks means um it's just returning this like a true false. Okay, so for the each element, same as like a list comprehension and this type, right? Same as like a list comprehension and checking with that. So the generator checks each pair and all stops early if any comparison fails. Okay, more memory efficient than sorted because it doesn't create a new list. So in edge cases it can handle automatically, like if it is range -1 it produces nothing. So as I said that if it is an empty iterable, then it should returns true, right? So in single element, same that isn't true, and same as like that. Okay, term complexity will be this, and space complexity will be 1 because we have not created any list or doesn't create any space. Then using zip. Okay, I'm also created some checking with that. Zip function is a built-in function that takes multiple iterables, same as like that all in. So int will be accepts zip will accepts one or more iterables at the input. Let's see the directly example so that we can understand. See here ls and their ages. So it combines in a tuple in a list, okay, with a attaching this first elements. Same as if we have unequal length, for example here 3, 2. Here we have the equivalence of the list. It is just takes only 2 elements. How that? It ignores the cherry because colors list is shorter. Okay, that's the zip main function. Here let's say I'm also created as something like it is all function just checks, and here I'm created given the function to how the process will work. So zip will do that the function combines two list. Okay, as like is previously we saw that list is the original list and takes another means next elements. Here see the example 1 2 3 4 and list will be 2 3 4, right? Then it pairs up the consecutive elements from these two lists, like for example 2 and 2, sorry 1 and 2, next 2 and 3, next 3 and 4. Sorry. So it like pairs consecutive elements from these two lists, and this creates an iterable like a tuples. So directly checks if this or not in a all function like a, and it here creates the two variables to check that a is less than or equal to b, means like 1 is less than or equal to 2, yes, so it returns true true true. So same as like that, if all the pairs pass the comparison or true, the function returns true indicating the list is sorted, and all will return the false if fails the comparison, so the function returns not sorted, right? So edge cases will be like a forks for the empty and single, and raises type array data, the multiple data types, right? Next will be okay, yes, next will be like using recursion. In the recursion we have to keep in mind that we have to maintain the base conditions, means it should not loop under the function, right? So here the base condition is if that okay, if that length of the is less than 1 or equal to 1, so it should return true. Then again, for example, I have given here the to explain that it is checking, it is the base condition, right? In that loop it is checking with the next elements, like for example, if the length is less than 1 or equal to 1 not, so it does moves the next check and compares the list of 0 means 1 and list of 1 means 2. It is less than or equal to 2, yes, so it goes to the return function with this, okay, then checks with the 2 or 3, then okay proceeds with the next, then it is taking the next elements, right? So here the length is 2 and here the length is 1, okay, it does checking with 4, it returns it is less than 1, so the function returns true, right? And since all the checks pass, the list is sorted and the function returns true. I mean checking with the each elements, like looping that the base condition is got true, right? So same as like that, and each recursive calls checks first two elements, and if they are fine then checks the next and stops when the realizes list size is to 1. And it is avoid for a very long list because risk of the recursion depth error, okay. Here we use space complexity, means it takes the calls the each function, right? So it is recursive call stack, means it takes the space, so it is a big of n space will be taken. Here the base conditions of like empty list, so expected will be true, and if it is also single element true, and duplicates also true, and it is also false because it is we are checking for the ascending order, so it is false. And if it is duplicates, then is also we get true, and different data types we have to means we can't get the output, we get the error, and if it is in decimal then we get the true, if it is in negative then we get the true, okay. So These are like a mostly for the beginners, and for the interviews it is saying like that all the function will be better. And it is also for the short code, I think same, both are same, just it divides the less. Okay, recursion is will be like harder because conceptual, but we can do the practical purpose how it's going on. So yeah, it is like asking if it is in a descending order, then how we can check. I think same as like that, but just we have to change the this. Okay, same as like that, right? Just we have to return, because in the previous time we have written, so it get the false. Sorry, so we get the false. So check the every adjustment pace, and it checks the current is less than or not. So 9 is less than, 9 is greater than, right? So it is just like checking with this element. 9 is less than, okay, 9 is less than with 7. No, it should return false, right? 9 is less than, I think I'm confused by that. I mean, just like checking, it is correct way to check that true or false. Just it is changing the places. Sorry, I'm confused. Let's go to the next. And all all function, just changing the simple, that how that's going. And checks with the greater or equal. And zip function pairwise, so it directly checks with that. And sorted function, and how's that going, that's just giving the reverse is equal to true. It is the main function we have to keep in mind when we checking descending order in a sorted built-in function. Okay, next, create descending order sorted copy of the list, compares it with original, right? So combine function means like checking both, like ascending order or descending order, right? So if length is 1, then we have to return true. Okay, if order is equal to ascending, means here ascending order word is given here. So if order is equal to ascending, then we have to check like that. If it is descending order, just reverse this, right? Same as like that, we applying the same functions all, and just returning. If we both are not, then we have to return invalid argument, means like if any data types are there, then, or any not given, then it is invalid argument, order argument. That's like, so clean and all for the interviews also. Okay, when checking with this, when if it is they ask to could you make the program dynamic, right? So these are like, and approaches will be which we have to take, as I have said the edge cases above. And if there are another approach for checking both ascending or descending, just like above I have said, in that all function is used, here that sorted thing is used. And checking with array of sorted or not, array of the descending or not, sorted in descending order. Okay, and compares and check the single element sorted, and same as like that. And manual approach will be like this. If sec is equal to true, then I have to return this, and dissec is equal to true, then I have to return this, and if fall not, then it should return that not sorted, right? All these like have I mean like creating a single variable, like if any element breaks the ascending order, marks this, and if any breaks descending order, marks descending is equal to false, right? At the end, decide the based on flags. So edge cases will be like a empty or single, both will return true because sorted, and same as like that. Okay, 2 5 1, so breaks both, so it is not sorted. Okay, I think in the previous function that means like that. Okay, most in preferred in interviews, it is like this way approach. I think this way is really great. Here we are using the range function, means like a loop based type, right? So it is also best approach like that. Next, by using simply by all function and checking it is on ascending or not, right? Using all function. In the above examples, we also return directly in the return function is this, but here directly checking in the if condition and returning in a text way. So all returns the true if all conditions hold true, then in a list, in the list comprehension, same as like that. So I think it is the best approach in ever, because directly checking array of the sorted and array of the descending order sorted is like in operation true is true false is true, and true false true is true, and mostly like that. So one of the thing is sorted, right? Checking that returns true if the sorted in any order, right? For any order to check, right? Same as like edge cases, and for the interviews approach to loop based will be great, and for the assessments all function will be great. Okay, short and clean and expensive. Okay, that's all for today. So today we have solved that list to check that it is order, I mean sorted or not in ascending order or descending order, in both. Okay, by just checking in a or sorted way, sorted sort function, loop based function, and also we use the all function and zip functions, how the spilling built-in functions are happen, and all these things we have seen. So in the next video we will go through the prime, but it is not a day 15, it should be day 14. So I will check with that. I don't know, but ChatGPT giving that way in wrong. So see you in the next video. Try to solve you problems by yourself. I am also trying myself so that it will create a bond, like which is like I'm also telling what is the my wrong way approaches and how I am treating. So if you have anything you have to say, please to comment, and if you want to give any suggestions to making videos or anything that how the approaches will be, then you have to comment that. Thank you for all, and see you in the next video.